In a previous life, before I retired 16, 17 years ago, I was a plant physiologist. I've taught science all my life at Sydney University. I like knowing how things work. I've got two issues that I want to raise with you here that are fairly technical. They concern largely the drivers inside the tunnel, but they certainly impact the outside of the tunnel. And I would comment that with my long experience with the M5 East and things like that, that if you can get the inside of the tunnel right, the outside of it usually looks after itself. Now, the first thing is that the NHMRC in its recent report suggested that when you're doing the assessment of inside and outside tunnels, you should be, or inside tunnels, the drivers, you should be looking at realistic trips and realistic daytime exposures. None of the exposures that have been done on any of these projects has looked at more than a single tunnel. If the, I don't know even what to call it, the Newtown tunnel ever gets completed, then a driver coming from Hornsby to Port Botany will spend more than 20, go through more than 20 kilometres of tunnel in his 45 kilometre trip. This means that the basis of the assessment for exposure to things like carbon monoxide are completely inadequate, because the carbon monoxide has a half-life inside the body of 5 hours or more. So that the truckie who's done a trip backwards and forwards to Hornsby, he won't clear all that carbon monoxide in his body overnight. He'll still have a residual level which will increase right through the week. Now, so far as I know, the builders of these tunnels haven't got a dispensation from the laws of physics. These are exceptionally long tunnels. I cannot find any other tunnels with similar vehicle levels anywhere in the world. Okay, there is no thing, so that they are using up all of the safety problems. The safety that they say are inbuilt, you see everywhere, it's inbuilt into the thing, this conservative thing. No, you've used it all. Now here's another one. The PR quite aggressively say in their EIS that they've used the relationship determined by PARC, the World Road Authority, which enables them to convert the smoke inside the tunnel and calculate from the amount of smoke inside the tunnel the concentration of particulate matter. Now, this is the estimate that they use for what's going to come out of the stack, so it's the basis of all the air quality modelling. Now, what happened, you all remember the M5, it was a disaster when it first opened, stinking tunnel inside. The problem was that they only just got it to work by cranking up all of the fans and getting everything going. They sent a Melbourne firm away to discover why this had happened. The Melbourne firm discovered by measurement in the tunnel that the actual relationship that PARC had produced, which suggested that a visibility of 0.005 per metre was equivalent to about 1,000 micrograms per cubic metre PM10. The actual correct one for Sydney was half of that, so that 0.005 gave you nearly 2,000 micrograms per cubic metre inside the tunnel. That was why it was stinky. Now, this was valid, this was used, and they adopted that factor for the design of the Lane Cove and the M5 tunnel. This hard-won experience has been ignored. The WestConnex have arrogantly used the PARC level, they state it several times, so that it is likely that these new tunnels are going to be just as bad as the M5 was at the beginning. You've underestimated the emissions from the stack, you've underestimated the conditions inside the tunnel. The minimum demand that we should make here is that someone goes away and checks those measurements, gets the new proper correction factor. The guys in Melbourne might have been wrong, but I don't think so. Thank you.